Highways. They are the veins of our modern world, carrying us to work, to family, to freedom. But not all highways are simply paths to new destinations. Some roads come with chilling reputations, woven with tales of terror that stretch across decades. What is it about these stretches of asphalt that makes them so haunted? Today we'll explore some of the most haunted highways in the world. From ghostly apparitions and phantom hitchhikers to cursed bends and eerie towns, these stories will send chills down your spine. Sit back but don't relax, because you may want to keep your eyes on the road ahead. Our first stop is Route 66, often called the Mother Road. Spanning nearly 2,500 miles, this highway has been a symbol of freedom and adventure for generations. But beneath its iconic reputation lies a darker history. One of the most enduring legends involves the Lady in White. Drivers have reported seeing her standing on the roadside, often near isolated stretches of the highway. She's described as wearing a long white dress, her face veiled, her posture stiff and unnatural. A driver named Paul shared his harrowing experience on a cold winter night. He spotted a woman standing by the road, her hand raised as if signaling for help. Thinking she might be stranded, Paul slowed down. But as his car approached, the woman didn't move or react. Instead, she seemed to blur, as if she were dissolving into the fog. Paul later learned that many others had seen this figure, always in the same area. Some say she's the ghost of a bride who died in a car crash decades ago, forever tied to the highway. Others believe she's a warning, an omen of danger for those who drive recklessly on these dark roads. The ghost stories of Route 66 don't stop with the Lady in White. There's also the tale of the phantom hitchhikers, spirits of those who met tragic ends along the road. Take the story of Rebecca, a young woman who was driving late at night through a remote section of the highway. As rain poured down, she saw a man walking along the roadside, drenched and shivering. Feeling sorry for him, Rebecca pulled over and offered him a ride. The man got in the back seat, thanked her softly, and gave her directions to a small diner a few miles ahead. But as Rebecca approached the diner, she turned to tell the man they had arrived, only to find the back seat completely empty. The man had vanished without a sound. Shocked, she parked at the diner and recounted her story to the staff. They nodded knowingly and told her she wasn't the first to report this exact encounter. Who are these phantom hitchhikers? Are they lost souls reliving their final moments, or are they something darker, preying on the goodwill of unsuspecting drivers? Next, we travel to one of the most infamous spots on Route 66, Dead Man's Curve. This dangerously sharp bend has claimed the lives of countless drivers over the years. Some say the curve is cursed, a vortex of bad energy that pulls cars toward disaster. One chilling story comes from a retired truck driver named Carl, who was navigating the curve late one night. As he approached, his headlights illuminated what appeared to be a group of people standing in the middle of the road. They were motionless, staring straight at him. Panicking, Carl slammed on the brakes, but as his truck skidded to a halt, the figures disappeared into thin air. Carl later learned that this section of the highway had been the site of a tragic bus crash decades ago. Survivors of the crash reported hearing disembodied voices and footsteps near the wreckage in the years that followed. Could these be the spirits of those who perished, unable to move on from the scene of their untimely deaths? Route 66 is also lined with ghost towns, eerie remnants of once thriving communities left to decay after the highway was rerouted. These abandoned places are said to come alive after dark, their empty buildings haunted by echoes of the past. One traveler named Mark shared a bone-chilling story about stopping in Amboy, California, a ghost town along the route. While exploring the old motel, he heard what sounded like laughter coming from one of the rooms. Thinking it might be other visitors, he walked toward the sound. But when he entered the room, it was completely empty. The laughter stopped abruptly, replaced by a heavy silence. When Mark later checked his camera roll, he found a blurry image of a shadowy figure standing in the corner of the motel lobby, a photo he didn't remember taking. Ghost towns like Amboy remind us that even abandoned places can hold on to the energy of the past. Are these hauntings the echoes of those who once called these towns home? Leaving the United States, we journey to Scotland and the A75 Kinmont Straight, known as the Ghost Road. This stretch of highway has terrified locals and travelers alike for over 50 years. One particularly terrifying incident occurred in the 1970s, when a couple driving down the road at night encountered a series of bizarre apparitions. First, they saw a man walking directly in front of their car. They swerved, only to see a large truck barreling toward them. But before they could react, the truck vanished. Moments later, they saw a group of ghostly figures darting across the road, some even walking through their car. The couple later learned that these kinds of sightings are common on the A75, with many drivers reporting similar experiences. Some believe the road is a hotspot for paranormal activity due to its proximity to ancient burial sites. Could these restless spirits be tied to Scotland's haunted history? In New Jersey, Clinton Road holds a reputation as one of the most haunted roads in America. One of its most famous legends involves a ghostly boy who is said to haunt a bridge along the route. According to local lore, if you toss a coin into the water, the boy's ghost will return it to you. A woman named Laura decided to test the legend one foggy evening. She tossed a coin into the water and waited. Minutes later, she heard the faint sound of splashing and noticed something shiny lying on the bridge. It was her coin, now wet and cold to the touch. But Clinton Road is home to even darker legends, including sightings of phantom cars that tail drivers, only to disappear when they look back. Some say the road is cursed, while others believe it's a portal to another dimension. Finally, we arrive at Route 666, the Devil's Highway. Stretching through the deserts of the southwestern United States, this road has earned its sinister name due to the sheer number of paranormal reports from drivers. One night, a man named David was driving alone when he noticed headlights approaching him at an alarming speed. Thinking it was another car, he prepared to move aside, but the lights disappeared just as they reached him. Startled, David pulled over and checked his mirrors, but there was no sign of any vehicle. Another driver reported seeing a pack of glowing orbs floating above the road. The orbs followed his car for miles, changing colors before suddenly disappearing into the desert sky. Are these phenomena tied to the road's eerie nickname? Or is there something truly supernatural lurking in the desert? These haunted highways are more than just legends. They're backed by countless first-hand accounts. A young woman driving home late at night heard a knock on her window, but there was no one outside. A father and son saw what appeared to be a woman waving from the roadside, but when they turned their car around to check, she was gone. A truck driver passing through a remote highway felt the temperature in his cab plummet and heard whispering voices, despite being completely alone. These stories make us wonder, are these highways haunted by the restless dead, or are they psychological tricks played on us by the isolation and darkness of the open road? Some say these highways are cursed, others believe they're thin spots between our world and the next. Are these apparition spirits trying to warn us, or are they echoes of tragic pasts replaying endlessly? What do you think? Have you ever experienced something unexplainable on the road? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more chilling tales of the supernatural.